Our featured speaker today is Eileen Marcus. She is the absolutely fabulous Eileen Marcus. She runs Aligned Workplace and speaks to leaders and their teams accelerating their purpose with deeper personal engagement. After 32 years of spearheading high stakes ventures, managing 10,000 employees and $1.5 billion, Eileen is now a Techstars All-Star Global Facilitator. Techstars is the leading seed accelerator. She travels the country building entrepreneurial ecosystems and financial freedoms for individuals who want to start and scale a business. Eileen Marcus, take it away.
Thank you so much. So, I love seeing all of you and I love being here. And a few months ago already, someone said, "Oh, I really have to get my business plan together." And the way it was said, right, was, "Oh, I have to do my business plan." Who was that? I think it might have been Kathy or Di. I don't remember who said it. And I was like, "Don't do a business plan." And they're like, "But I have to." No, you don't have to do a business plan anymore, because you know what? Just like the way you sell your products and things happen, the world has changed. So a model that we use now, Techstars, I dropped the link in the chat. I wrote toolkittechstars.com. And I know that Candace has probably been sharing it with you. So I work with founders and entrepreneurs, and that's Cassidy here, a budding entrepreneur, to help them identify their unique value proposition, which you have all been working on in these workshops. And why do we do that? Why is our unique value proposition so important? Do we know the key reason we do that? Anyone? Yell it out.
Keep ourselves on track so we know who we're targeting our market to.
Exactly. Because if we can't sell our product, it doesn't matter who we are, where we are, what kind of business plan we have, we need clients. And I think that's a really good place to start about why business plans are outdated. Now at Techstars, as I said, we work with founders, early stage entrepreneurs before they get what's called big venture capital or private equity money. So they are building the foundations of their company. And what people in the financial sector and who are going to invest in them want to see is the questions that are asked in this lean canvas. So how is a lean canvas different from a business plan? The way I think about it is that a business plan was all about selling a product. Cassidy was telling me a story, because we're working together in her final year of high school about an entrepreneurial training class, and we're making a product together. That's part of it's a hands-on year-long, I call it a capstone, for her. And her father, when he was young, was working with a friend, and they created this product, and the friend went and sold it behind his back. Yeah. And aside from all of the stuff about who do you share your idea with and all that, Cassidy can't even remember what the product does, but the point of it does, the pen does. But the point of that is because the sell process was very different years ago. It was about, you didn't have online options. You didn't have, I'm going to say it again, online options, right? You had to find a company that they really did the assessment of, all right, this product might be unique. We like the functions. Will it sell to our market? You as the provider weren't really, or the producer or the owner weren't really in charge of finding your market. You had to, yes, target the right stores, but it was really up to the stores to figure out how to sell things. Well, that has really changed with the online model, direct to consumer, and all the ways that we buy products now. So the lean canvas focuses a lot less on how am I well, it focuses on marketing, but it focuses a lot less on kind of your customer actually, let me say that differently. It focuses a lot less on what you're actually selling, and focuses a lot more on who you're actually selling it to. And it goes through a series of steps to help you to understand that. Now, I dropped a link in the chat that says leanstack.com, and it gives you a whole page that's really simple on Lean Canvas. Has everyone been able, I can pull up a Lean Canvas. Has everyone been able to look at what a Lean Canvas is? It is basically a one-page business plan. So think about the old business plan. What's the problem? What are you solving? What are your key partnerships? How much does the product cost, right? List of questions that you just want to pull your hair out. This lean canvas asks these questions almost so succinctly, but the point in the lean canvas is that when you fill one box, it affects the others. So it's all about like the assumptions you make and how they interact to show what your unique value is to find your customer. Does that make sense? Have any questions? Candice, do you can I share
You
screen?
can share your screen, please.
Okay, so hold on because what did I do with it? Oh, here. So, okay, so let me just move this over a little. So ignore the numbers for now, but a classic lean canvas asks these questions. What is your problem or your top 3 problems? What are the top 3 problems your customer is having? We're going to do, does anybody want to volunteer to be a guinea pig and do theirs? Anyone? Or you want us to do ours? Speak up. Anyone? All right, Cassidy, you're on. What are the top 3 problems your customer has?
The leash dragging through the mud.
Oh, yeah. So say what your product is. Let's start with that.
Oh, we are making what would we call it?
You
We are making a leash that has magnets and hooks onto the dog in some sort of way.
Did that make sense? A dog leash that when you don't, when I sorry, I told her to do it. She's getting used to
You
me.
can go ahead.
Explain the problem more. You're in puppy class. Explain what you do.
So in puppy class, we always let the dogs off leash to do some sort of come and other tricks. And a lot of times people are worried about taking the leash completely off, but a lot of dogs can be either spooked or trip over the leash when it's dragging on the ground. So we want to figure out a way that we can hook the leash to the dog so that it's easy to grab if need be. So
I met Cassidy training my big, huge golden doodle, right? That I couldn't control. She's a dog trainer, and very industrious. So our first problem is in puppy class, the leashes, either taking them off is a big problem, or when they time to get back on, it wastes a lot of class time, like 15 minutes of teach time. A second problem is when you go, we live in a very rainy area. Who's not in the rain? So when you go in the rainy area and you go hiking and you don't, same thing, you don't want to let go of your dog leash, right? Because you might not be able to grab your dog after. What if there's a squirrel, another dog, but you let go of your dog leash, it goes through the mud, right? And then you end up with a muddy leash. So that's our second customer problem. And our third customer problem is you're at the dog park and, your dog's having a great time. And then there comes in another dog and anybody have dogs and it goes crazy. You can't catch your dog and they won't listen. So somehow think about a magnetic, iWatch, Apple Watch. Somehow the leash, you when you get close to it, you can grab it so that you're not running around your dog like an idiot. So anyway, but what are your 3 problems, right? Women are going to the doctor and they're not getting their health problem solved and they don't understand why. I have a practice, someone here who says they help elevate holistic practices. People don't go back to the same practitioner. How do I help them find a practitioner they love? I don't know, but you've been digging into these with Canvas. So Candice, you need your top 3 problems. Then you need to say, what is your solution? Very aptly, what do you actually do? So the solution for us is to get a leash that doesn't get unattached, right? That somehow stays attached and doesn't separate, that can be grabbed, but doesn't drag on the ground. And then the third part of that is what's unique about that, right? What is unique about that? And that's really where you've been digging in a lot and saying, why is it different that I sell greeting cards? Why is, Kathy, what is it? Control the Health. What is it different that you do? Tracy, what's different about your store? Is it more friendly? Is it the community vibe? Is it the way you sell things? Is it subscriptions? Is it the materials you use? Where you really dig into your value proposition. And so I'm going through them. You know a lot of these terms already. Next is the question about your unfair advantage. What makes you perfectly suited to do what you do? Why should people come to you? Not only because your product is better, but what is about you? Are you producing it cheaper? Are you like in my example in Cassidy is a dog trainer. She has trained how many people? Hundreds in the puppy class?
Yeah, probably.
Hundreds of people. So she has a lot of experience in this field. She works at a pet store, right? So she sees people struggling with these issues. So she can talk about the behavioral aspects of the dog, what it does for the dog's health, how it helps the dog's psyche, why this leash plays a different role in the dog's life. So our unfair advantage is her absolute knowledge of dealing with crazy puppies for the last 2 years. Does that make sense? Roll with me? You don't look too interested, but okay. All right. And then you finally get to, your customer segments. In the example we gave you, our problem and our customer segments are pretty much the same thing. Now, I want you to start to look at the numbers because we don't fill this out sequentially, right? It's one of those things, and you've been doing this all year with Candace, right? What's my unique value proposition? What's my, what do I say about my product? What do I do differently? What's my marketing messages? So Lean Canvas gives you several routes to answer these questions that will give you a different way of digging in. Now, on this document that I sent you, a lot different people go through it in different ways, depending on your product and depending on where you always get stuck. So the other thing that's a little different about Lean Canvas than a traditional business plan, it assumes you already have a business in operation. It assumes that you're already up and operating, so you know what your unit costs are, you have a product that you're up and running, that you have some customer base, and it helps you to dig into where you need to grow, what's not happening. I love this question over here on this one, early adapters, right? So you might have gotten your first 100 or 20 or 15 clients very easily. They saw the beauty. Think about the wellness patch, Candace, right? Right away, there are people that hear about it and want it, and boom, they're ready to do it. But how do you get your next group, right? The early adapters aren't giving you away. Like we might find all the people in the puppy classes buy it, but none of the hikers buy it. How do you take the experience you have that helped these people understand it was great and get that to a larger part of who your customer segment is? We all know what channels are. Do we know what channels are? Channels are the paths that your customers come to you by. I do a lot of work on customer validation with new entrepreneurs, and very often our customer is not who we think we are. I did a class last week locally, and it was about a woman who does these family hikes. And she says, oh, well, mothers are my audience because they're family hikes. And then we looked into who was already buying her hikes, who was interested in her hikes, who has the most potential to buy her hikes. And it was not mothers. It was actually single fathers, right? Who, needed something to do on the weekend with their kids, which led to her idea, or my idea that she loved, I'm going to say, that maybe she sells a subscription package. Maybe it's not a single hike. Maybe I buy 4 hikes, spring, summer, winter, or fall, right? Hello, James Taylor, we do live in the Berkshires. So, spring, summer, winter, or fall, but you sell a package of 4, and these fathers know, oh my God, that's 4 weekends. If I'm divorced and I have 26 weekends a year with young kids, I got 4 weekends covered with something to do with my kids other than eat pizza and watch movies. So when you think about these problems and how your customers come to you and who's actually interested, or as I like to think about channels, who else is walking that path? Who else is walking that path? One of the other entrepreneurs that we worked with had a yoga studio, and she really prides herself, and this might go to who was talking about, I help practitioners, take control. I forgot who that was. I just can't see it. I help the practitioners. Her real customer who really thrives in her is the person who never felt comfortable in a yoga studio. They never wanted to walk in, right? Because she does a yoga practice that is, I don't know what, but it's not like standing tree pose for 4 hours. So her whole marketing, her whole channel is people who want to be yogis but never felt comfortable doing that. So her marketing is now, my doctor told me to do yoga, but I feel fat walking in a studio. I don't fit in the yoga clothes. I've never been good at yoga, right? How many people yoga's all about? Come be calm. We have beautiful music. Our teachers are relaxing. She's like, I don't feel like I belong in a yoga class. This is the yoga class you belong in. Do you see the difference when you walk that journey and then take it back to what's your major problem. The people who need my service aren't coming in. So how do those things tie together? So Lean Canvas is just kind of more of a much more integrated approach of thinking through your problems instead of here's my what do they call them? Competitors. Here's what I do. Now, of course, on the bottom, there is the cost structure and the revenue streams. And those are always, always important, right? You have to know how much it's costing you for everything you do. And you have to know where, the money is coming in from. To get this, we teach something called unit economics. Is anybody familiar with unit economics? I actually want to see all of you. So unit economics, I always love the for-profit world because they think they invented everything. Unit economics is something we have used in nonprofits for a very long time. It's actually cost allocation. So cost allocation means, and I usually teach it through a chicken soup. Who else here is a cook? Anybody else like to cook? I'm a Jewish mother, so I make a good chicken soup, right? So basically, I go to the store and I buy the chicken. I'll give you all my ingredients, but I won't tell you how to put them together. The chicken, the onion, the tomato, gives it its nice color, just a little one. Carrots, onions, celery, parsnip, turnip, dill, right? I buy all my ingredients. And so maybe my bill at the grocery store is $26, right? That's the cost of my materials. I then go home, I drive my car. So it was the gas to and from the supermarket. I cook on my stove. It takes me an hour to cut up the turnips, the parsley, to cut everything up and put it in. So my time. Then I have to put it in a bowl and serve it. I might put rice in with it or matzo ball, right? So the unit and how many bowls of soup did I get? So out of that $26 pot, maybe I only bought a 4-pound chicken instead of an 8-pound chicken. Maybe I made, 3 quarts of soup, which was maybe, each quart is a cup. So maybe I only made 8 cups of soup. So my unit economics is the $26 I spend on the materials, plus my time, energy, the stove, the gas, right? All of that, plus divided by per serving for that soup. Actually, let's just say my time and energy, costs $5 a bowl. Now you know why you're paying so much for soup. It is expensive. We always say, why is soup expensive? It actually is expensive. So it's about not just looking at, that hour that I served this client with, or that one product the client bought. What was the amount of marketing that went in? What was the amount of my administrative overhead? How much did I have to do to show up? Who am I paying to, deliver the service, right? All of those things that we don't always think of. So the cost structure and the revenue structure on a Lean Canvas tries to lead you into that unit economics. So you're really thinking about the cost of one item and then the cost to attract and keep a customer. So you're thinking a little bit more about your customer journey. So I threw a lot of stuff at you. I walked through, I gave you a lot of terms, but the important thing is in a Lean Canvas is that you put it all on one page so you see it, and it forces you, right? I just got a new refrigerator. I think some of you know that I've been on with you, and I had to take out the cabinet over my refrigerator, and I decided not to put it back up. So it's forcing me to be more economical in my kitchen because I have less space, right? So that's really what a Lean Canvas does. It forces you to be more economical with your thoughts, with your words, to really, really dig into, why am I different? What is my unfair advantage? That I worked at a hospital and I have a doctor's approval, that Candace's advantage. I'm a cancer survivor. I know exactly what it takes to overcome adversity, right? Those kind of things that not everyone that does what you do has. And it really forces you to be very succinct about them while considering your customers, who you're going after, and your revenue model, instead of just going on a fishing expedition of, who are my clients and how much is this going to cost and what might my pro forma look like? Does that make sense? Do you want me to? So what I thought we would do, because we have about, what do we have, Candace? About 30 minutes left. Yeah. 20 minutes left, is maybe a few of you want to think this through for you. You want to ask questions, anything that's not clear. Does that make sense?
Take advantage of this opportunity. Eileen helps people who are starting startups.
I'm just starting. I'll go.
Great. Who's going? I can't see.
Goddess Wendy.
Okay, Goddess Wednesday, menopause. I'll also volunteer. Okay.
Thank you. I'll put my here we go.
I got it. Yeah. Go on when. All right.
Oh, so I just this
So what-
summer. Oh,
So that's the first thing. We don't start with our story, right? Because I don't know about you ladies, but I get lost in my story. So let's start going back to our lean canvas. Let's start with, I like to start with your top 3 problems. What are the top 3 problems you're solving? And if you
Top-
need with us drawing them out, we will.
top 3 problems. I believe I just started and haven't started interviewing. Top 3 problems are women think that their problems are unique and they don't share, and then they don't know where to go from that.
Okay, so basically they don't ask for help.
They don't ask for help.
Okay.
They feel isolated,
Okay. So is that a problem? They're isolated in their whatever's going on.
and perhaps they're not getting the help that they need for their symptoms.
Okay.
Like
So
the resources that they've tapped into so far aren't helping them.
Okay,
And so they're
so-
looking for alternatives.
okay, so basically nowhere in the problem, so this is the beauty of lean canvas, right? Do you even reference your solution? So you need to say that, is it that traditional menopause, that menopause, like, what is it? Why, like, is it that there's too many out there to choose from? The doctors don't know the right thing? Like, what is different? Because right now, this is very generic, right? They don't ask for help, they're isolated, and it's not working. I could talk about, that could be true for my hair color. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't have to just be menopause. So how do you bring that down to why is that true in menopause?
Okay, so I would say a lot of people talk about hot flashes. A lot of people talk about vaginal dryness, and a lot of people talk about low sex drive.
Okay, so now you're getting pretty specific, right, ladies? Shake your heads. Right now, oh my God, I hear one of those. Those are 3 problems. I would say the thing about those, what was hot flashes, vaginal dryness, what was the other one? It's been so long.
Low sex
Low
drive.
sex drive, right. So I would say that the other thing about that is that those are all physical symptoms, which is true, but are you a doctor?
I am not.
Right. Are you a certified homeopath, or do you so let's go. So here's a good one. This is how it works. Let's jump to number 5, your unfair advantage. Why are you specifically able to help these women with three symptoms when, like, I don't know what the menopause industry must be, but it's got to be used, right?
I've been a massage therapist for 23 years. I have been I started menopause in 40 and I'm going to be 55. So I've been in that world for 15 years.
Oh, poor thing. I started 39, so I understand.
And I have found products that work for me, and I would like to share them.
Okay, so that's beautiful. So your unfair advantage really is that you started menopause early and you've been going through it for 15 years. And as a massage therapist, you're uniquely knowledgeable about, kind of how the whole body works, not just the menopause systems, right? That's really, anybody else, anything else unique that you heard in there?
Oh, I want to add more.
Mm-hmm.
Along with the massage, I do energy work too. And so that's the magic part of it, with the pendulum and using the forces of Mother Earth to help.
Okay, I don't know if that's your unfair advantage. I think that's your unique value proposition, right? So
Okay.
so like but I love this because this is exactly how Lean Canvas works. Oh, wait, so your unique value proposition is you bring in several modalities which other people do not join together to alleviate or eradicate, or whatever your word is, the symptoms, right? And I think your other unique value proposition is the hands-on experience that you have with women's bodies.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So you've, met thin women, heavy women who, never had children, so I would dig into that a lot, that you really understand the bodies by the nature of being a massage therapist. I think that's your unique value proposition. proposition. But I think your unfair advantage is that you've been going through it for 15 years.
Oh my God, it seems like a long time.
Yeah, it's
And
crazy.
I
That
just-
seems
I was-
really unfair to me.
Yeah,
I was just thinking, I've been
definitely
with
unfair advantage.
my husband for 16 years, and I'm like, oh my God, I just realized he's been through the whole menopause with me. No wonder he's having a hard time.
Yeah. Yeah, right. Now, what do you think in your solution? You talked about why you're unique, right? You use the pendulum, you bring different modalities. What in your solution, like what when people say to you, so like what is the exact service you're providing?
My exact service is I want to do videos that teach you either how to self-massage or massage with your partner. I want to write a book that talks about the weird stuff that people have and how they celebrate and laugh at themselves.
Mm-hmm.
I want to, in my research, I want to find out how other women have
So your solution, I think,
their solutions.
I
I only
think-
know my solution, and
Right,
I'm
but
still
I-
searching.
right, but I think you hit it the first time. Your solution is really massage, which people, Candace, those of us, everybody chime in. Those of us that have been through menopause, do we think of massage as a solution for menopause? I mean, I've
No.
tried a lot of things. Anyone?
No.
No. So that's really what really is, your solution. And then your unique, that goes right back to your unique value proposition that, be this hands-on experience with massage, knowing women's bodies before, after, during, knowing women's bodies that have had children, haven't had children, which all goes
Mhm.
back to your unfair advantage. You see how they all interplay in this in a lean canvas, which you might not get to. So I think your solution, I have to say, I didn't think we were going to get there, but I've never heard of massages. And I like a massage, it's relaxing,
Mhm.
but I never realized it could alleviate my hot flashes, my vaginal dryness, and my low sex drive. So I think you see the wraparound?
Mhm.
Okay. What are your customer segments? Your customer segments are pretty clear then, but what do you think they are?
Peri and menopausal women, before, during, and after.
Right. But you got to be a little more, we've been learning this canvas,
Oh,
niche,
I would
Are they
I would
women? Right. Are they women?
women who are experiencing negative symptoms of
Okay,
their
so
change.
that is like every woman going through menopause. So
Okay,
that's like,
so-
how many women are there?
Can I chime in,
Yeah,
Wendy?
please.
The thing that you do that a lot of women might not be receptive to is the pendulum. So it has to be women who would be receptive to pendulums and the other
Right.
modalities that you use.
So spiritual women who
Mhm.
have a spiritual practice. Do you
Mhm.
specialize in women who have children or didn't have children? Do you specialize in women who, and you might not have the answers yet. You need to go through a customer
Yeah.
validation phase. Do you specialize in women who hit menopause like earlier, or like Candace and I are both chemotherapy survivors, so we were
Mhm.
forced into menopause? Does it work better for people that were forced into menopause because of a cancer? So even though, so definitely spiritual, definitely the path. And I want to show you now how that works with the channels, right? Because if you pick women that are spiritual, you might be able to give this workshop. You're going to look at spiritual sites. You're going to think about workshops at your local crystal store. You're going to think about places, I don't know what they are out there, but like Esselstyn or Kripalu or what's that other one? Rhinebreck, whatever those, healing retreats are about women.
Mhm.
You're going to think about gynecology, well, obviously gynecologists, but if you're thinking about women, like, once again, you have two on this call, like we're cancer survivors. If someone's, and when you go through chemo, menopause isn't a fine line. Like it's like you finally get over you stop throwing up and the hot flashes like start you throwing up again. I mean, that was my experience, Candace. Was that yours? It hits you with a vengeance because your hormones stop. It's not subtle. So it happens really quick.
Yeah, no, it's
So,
awful.
Yeah. So is it people who have been in that situation, then you might start working with oncologists or different groups, right? So like it's this kind of takes you, your segments into where are you going to find your customers? What's their journey, right? Does that make sense?
Yes.
Dee wrote, women who have tried everything else and are still suffering. Absolutely, but still need to dig in. Are those women who had quick onset, have been in it for 15 years, like Goddess Wendy, women who never had children are having more symptoms because whatever, they never gave birth and their uterus lining is different. I don't know, that's where you have to do your research. But you understand the customer segmentation and does
Yes.
everybody see that link to how when you start to think about your customer segmentation, think about the channels. Where are these people? They're not buying Midol, right? So they might, right? They, like Di said, they've tried everything that works. So health food stores, spiritual, they're back at their OBGYN. Maybe they're at their pastor or their rabbi asking for a spiritual solution. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. And then you're just starting. So your cost structure, right? I love this solution that your solutions are videos, right? Like watch my video, look at me, think about what I'm doing, what I've been through, and here's some tips to help you. And massage. So, start just to think about like, okay, I mean, producing videos is not expensive, but what about your time, all that, your marketing, and then your revenue model. How are people paying you? Are you giving free material and then subscribing? Are you doing a lot of lead generators? And if they want more, are you holding office hours online that people can come and say, I've tried this? What is your revenue model that people are going to actually pay for? Candace, do you do a class on revenue models?
I haven't yet.
Yeah, that's a good one. I gave you the example, and I think it's so there are a few examples because it's just fresh in my mind. We were on this class last week. I think there were about 16 entrepreneurs, and so the woman with the hikes was really the big turnaround when she realized I can sell it because these are all local people. I can sell a subscription price to 4 hikes, right? But the other one was there was one woman who owned a flower store and another who actually did things with dried flowers. So they're going to create the wedding package that includes after you have the wedding, we dry your bouquet and give it back to you. So you don't have to go look for that, right? So like, what are the other packages you can tie together with it? You know what I mean? That's for everyone here. Like, who are the partners in your journey, right? So I'm a bride, I go buy my flowers. Now I want to memorialize my wedding. Who do I want? Well, yeah, we all know about the photographer, right? And the videographer, but we never think about a keepsake woman to actually think about how I'm keeping my bouquet, or a, I don't know what else you would do to,
Well, a couple of people in this room do send out cards, and that's a perfect addition to the florist combination is pictures of the things that all those other wedding people did. So adding that to that model.
So that
and we use Candace for my best friend's wedding invitations as well.
Right. So that is a really good idea for you guys to think about, not only selling to florists, right, but going into keepsake shops. I'm thinking about, Tracy, I'm not exactly sure what Tracy sells, but I know she does art things. Like Tracy, maybe, come in and do your own thing, right? A workshop with the local florist. When you're done, this package also includes a day here to create your, whatever it is about your flowers. So when you think through your customer journey and what they're going through, it really helps you to think about other partners, ways to sell them, your revenue model. And that's exactly how Lean Canvas works, right? Instead of like, okay, we've talked about all these things. Now let me think about who I want to sell to. No, you saw how each thing kind of went into the other. Oh, that doesn't go there. It goes into the next category. And the good news is Candace taped this, right, Candace? So you can listen to it.
Yes, I did. And you can download the Lean Canvas and create your own Lean Canvas and get it done this week, because it's not that hard. Links are in the chat. I just put them there.
And Candace will send you my email, and if you have questions. But I mean, I'm really curious, was this helpful? It's a, Lean Canvas is something I also put in the Entrepreneur Tools Kit, and there's a quick video there that goes through it a little more eloquently than I did today. But but what I love about this tool is what you just saw happen with Goddess Wendy, that, you know, you really think through, no, that goes to the next thing. Wait, that goes back. What, you know, the difference that really gets you to the point of what is my path to my customers? Where am I finding them? Who are the partnerships I need? Where are the upsells? How does that impact my business model? How can I find my customers? Because all of this is really now, since, you know, you're not just writing a business plan that we can produce this many pens and you can sell them in Kmart, which, you know, doesn't even exist anymore, right? Right? It's about, how am I going to sell it? So where can I find my customers? What are the path that I could sell it on? And, you know, we talk about this a lot in customer validation, you know, really, really niching it down. And that's another great segment to really talk about, like, you know, in talking to customers, oh, do you have problems with menopause? Yes. That's not your customer, right? Your customer is the person that maybe, you know, you've tried, like Dee said, you've tried everything. You need, you're spiritual. You need a self-help solution. You're not shy with your own body. That's another thing, right? You want women that, not every, you know, we did have a revolution, but not everybody touches their body, right? So you want people who, you know, are not shy with their own body, who might already be spending money on massage or facials, self-care. They're spending money in the personal beauty space, right? That's another indicator for you. So that's kind of lean canvas.
Wow, thank you.
I hope you found it helpful.
And the 17-year-old in the room has just gotten a huge education.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, you know, yeah. Yeah, you'll be hearing more from us as we develop our
I can't wait to see the end
Unleashed
product.
What?
I can't wait to see the end product.
Yeah.
I just texted my girlfriend Diane. She lives in New York and she is starting a business called Dapper Paws for high-end pet supplies.
Oh, where is she in New York? She's in.
She's let's say an hour or two north of Manhattan.
Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah. I mean, pet supplies, you know, talk about a huge market. So, and let me just finish with this thought. You know, there are some, I didn't go over the key metrics, which we really, you know, everybody knows what the metrics are, but once you find your customer path, then you really know what they are. But the one thing that this really doesn't focus on, and some of the different lean canvas models that I sent you do talk about existing alternatives, but the old business marketing plans used to focus so much on who's the competition, who's the competition, who's the competition. And if we've learned anything since the internet revolution, that competition is really a relative term, because there's enough of a market for everyone. It's just finding your people and your customer journeys that actually you can keep on upselling your market, right? There's something for everyone.
Yep.
So just find your customer journeys. It's all about that. And you will find, you know, and you will sell your products.
Yep.
Right.
My company made over $1 million selling king size bed to antique furniture collectors.
Right? Can you be more niche than that? I'm going to be funny and say, and the wife always slept on the left side. But you know what I mean? Like, but that's how niche, right? Like king size beds to antique, crazy.
Furniture collectors, yeah.
No other questions? I stumped the panel.
Well, the group, the folks that are in Robusta, which is the paid version of Marketing Coffee Hour, have spent the last 10 weeks or 3 months working on their one-page marketing plan. And there was a lot of things on the canvas that were similar, but there was 2 that were different. And those are the 2 things that would be on the traditional business model. And those 2 things are the cost structure and the revenue streams, right? Those were not on the business plan. So you already have your foundation. All you need to do is figure out your revenue streams and your cost structure.
And keep your boxes small, you know, really think about being purposeful. I put in the chat, I can put it in again. There is a fillable PDF when you go to the Techstars site. So do you have that link?
Yes, it's under the toolkit.techstars.com link, Marianne.
And there's a good video there too. Ooh. But the thing is really to force yourself, like what we did with Goddess Wendy, to force yourself to think about what really belongs in each box. And even as you've done it in the last, you know, few weeks, which I love, right? And you know, these boxes, you know, is kind of then the thing like Wendy's pendulum. I use a pendulum too. am I in the right boxes? Is my value proposition different than my unfair advantage, right? You know, am I really putting things where they belong, and is it ending in a unique way for me to look at where do I find the people that are going to buy my product or use my product? I just want to say thank you. I wish I had gone through the whole process with you because, you know, I teach it, but I struggle with it. And just Thursday mornings, I have my writing group because I too, Wendy, am writing a book, you know, so hopefully someday soon. My book is about managing annoying me, how to get out of my own way. Well, what I've learned in this process is the book, you know, you have to revise, you have to keep drilling down. I'm now starting the process this in October to find publishers. So it's a second book to my first book, but I'm really trying to do it a little more thoughtfully, Candace, you know, than just get it out there. So yeah, I need the book too. How to get out of my own way. Exactly.
The
Right.
first one.
Things I keep on doing that repeat. Oh, Di, you have my book. Thank you.
Yay. All right. There in the show notes, when I post the replay, I will have the link to Eileen's book on Amazon for you all. Thank you, Eileen, for being here. That
Thank
was
you
really
for
good.
asking.
And
It's so good.
I think that next year when we go through the one-page marketing plan again, because we do it every year, it won't be a marketing plan, it'll be a lean canvas, because 7 and 6 on that model are really important, and that's the thing that we weren't covering. And we also weren't covering 8. So
right. And Candace, I can help you with the financial modeling and how to do that. And just think about it like the chicken soup. What am I really spending on my product?
yeah. And that's
will
what
really help
most
you.
of us don't consider. Real quick, many years ago, there was a dude that came on into the custom furniture sphere, and he went to North Carolina to a furniture show, and he sold his furniture based on the price that he was paying to make it in his garage with the lumber that he could buy at the cheapest price possible. He got so many orders at that show that he could not build it in his garage. He had to hire people. Then he figured out he had to get a bigger shop. And lo and behold, he was selling the furniture for less than it was costing him to make it, because he didn't plan the cost structure. He didn't think about future cost. If you are making something in your garage and you want to be $1 million business, how much is it going to cost you when you're making $1 million worth of that product instead of 100?
Yeah. And, you know, we call that scaling, right? And that's really, it's about how to scale big, but it's also about all in costs. That's what I say, all in. And, you know, that's what all the cool kids are using. What's the unit economic cost?
Perfect. Louder for the people in the back. Awesome. All right, guys, thanks for being here
Thanks,
today.
guys.
Next month, we're doing a send out cards workshop. And if you would like to be part of the storytelling thing that we're doing in the month of October, just send me a DM and I'll give you the link to sign up for Robusta. It's only $25. And you will have videos by the end of our 3 weeks.
Woo.
All right, we'll see you guys later. Smooches, everybody. Thank you,
Thanks.
Eileen.
Thanks,
Thanks,
Thank you. Everybody say thank you to Eileen.
my
Thank you.
pleasure. I wish I could have gone through it with each one of you.
Thank you.
Call if you need help or email.
Thank you. Bye.